know that I don't have shoes on right now?
All right. Welcome to our weekly show. We are using Spotify to play some music. Pretty much our go-to music player now.
Has anything and everything you could ever want.
Yep.
Mostly. Pretty much.
Yep.
That's all you need to say.
Yep. I don't have anything else to say about it. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's turn this down.
You can just do this.
Okay. Close that. All right. So, another show, another Wednesday. My name is Rob Wormley.
My name is Mike Ball.
And we are project managers for a company called One Social Media, and this is our weekly live show. We stream it every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Central Time, and we're always talking about social media or different strategies that your business can use or that you can use to have a better, more effective experience on social media. So today is kind of an exciting show because we're talking about the new Facebook changes that are coming that some of you have probably experimented with a little bit. We've been experimenting with a lot. You might have seen the video that we put on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel last week.
Yeah, last week. The day of the announcement.
The day after the announcement, after we had enabled it on our profiles. So if you haven't heard about the new Facebook news, if you're still trying to get over the small newsfeed changes that just happened on Facebook a few weeks ago, I know a lot of my friends were, freaking out about it because your newsfeed changed a little bit, but it's nothing compared to the changes that are coming to Facebook. It's going to be huge. So
not at all. Barely noticed that compared to the new changes. And most people are a little bit uncomfortable with those changes right off the bat because Facebook is such a part of everyday life, and when something's all of a sudden different and it's not where you expect it to be, it's guaranteed it's going to throw you off a little bit. We expect a little bit of negative backlash from probably the new Facebook announcement, but I think people are going to be pretty happy with it overall.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about the changes today, our experience with the new Facebook, what we think about it, why we like it, and but we do encourage you to go back to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel and check out the video that we posted last week because it was a pretty good overview and it includes some screenshots that you'll want to check out of what your new Facebook profile is going to look like very soon. So last week, the F8 conference, Facebook's annual conference where they always announce crazy things. This year was no different. Mark Zuckerberg took the stage and let everybody know that Facebook profiles were pretty much going to be changing forever.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg didn't start out.
Well, yeah, he didn't start out.
Andy Samberg came out first and made a few jokes and made it a little bit of fun before Zuckerberg came out and made it awkward and awesome at the same time.
Yep. So two big features that Mark Zuckerberg announced at the F8 conference. Number one, a feature called Timelines. And Mike, why don't you talk a little bit about what timelines are?
So timeline is first going to be applied to Facebook profiles, and later on we expect it to be applied to pages. Basically, the concept behind it was that you have an entire story of who you are, and that it gets lost in your newsfeed or in your profile after 30 days. Nobody's going to scroll back to older posts and find what you posted about, even if it was really interesting. If you post about it a year ago, I'm never going to find it on Facebook unless I really have nothing to do.
It's really hard to find right now.
So Timeline essentially organizes everything that's ever happened on Facebook. Don't freak out yet. It's not that bad. Just because you have bad pics up on Facebook doesn't mean this is a bad thing. So everything that you've ever put on Facebook, plus it gives you the option to add things at different points in your life. And it lets you highlight important events and hide other events. And pretty much you can sort through by year and by decade even, I think. It goes to 2000s, then below, and you can go each individual year and see important things that happen and mark important things that happen. This is really cool. I went back through and looked, and I was like, oh yeah, I have a band that plays music. I forgot about that. I was like, we did a photo shoot way back in the day, and one of our good friends was still in there, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to do this, and I used to do that. And I personally even forgot about it, and it's kind of something that's cool to have in my history that people can kind of look at and see and know a little bit more about me, but at the same time, it's not all the personal status updates or anything that had nothing to do with anything. It's pretty relevant stuff, and you have a really good control over that.
Right, so visually it looks a lot different than what your profile looks like now, and you might have seen some screenshots from your friends or from different media outlets, USA Today or CNN or Mashable, everybody's posting screenshots of what the new timeline looks like. And the best way to describe it is think of it as an actual timeline, because what the Facebook profile that you have now looks like is what Mike is talking about, where it's, it's a lot of status updates, a lot of wall posts, you're scrolling down a lot to try to get to everything. And the new timeline profile is, I would say, it looks a lot like a timeline because it is a timeline, but it's a lot more visual, a lot more interactive because you can scroll through things fast. There are boxes and different photos and stuff like that. So a lot different, but pretty cool. Okay, so timeline was the first huge feature that Mark Zuckerberg introduced, and I think it's going to be pretty big when it comes out publicly. You can actually get timeline right now if you want to start testing with it. What some people recommend is that if you do that, to understand that it still has some bugs that it's dealing with right now and that Facebook is fixing. So it's not a perfect system right now, but it's definitely functional. So if you go to Mashable or TechCrunch or CNN or any of those websites and try to find use Facebook Timeline now, they all have the steps for using it now.
Well, it really doesn't take that long. It's not that hard to do.
Yeah, basically what you're doing is you're getting a developer invite. So all the Facebook developers can go on right now and get the timeline feature so that they can start experimenting and learn how it's going to change for them. And you as a Facebook user have the opportunity to become a Facebook developer. Like Mike said, it takes about 5 minutes. It's not hard, but you can just wait because it's going to be coming out soon anyways. But if you just can't hang on any longer like us, we enacted it like the day it came out. So.
Rob gave me the link on how to do it about 10 minutes after Zuckerberg finished talking that day. So.
Right, so we've been experimenting with it for about a week. But there was a second huge feature, or a huge announcement that came with the F8 conference and with Timeline, and that was improved social apps, which is huge. And we talked about it a little bit in our video, and we talked about how Facebook had representatives from Spotify, which is a music sharing and listening website and app, and Netflix, which you're all familiar with. And they had representatives come on stage and talk about how Facebook is going to be partnering with them in order to make Facebook and these businesses more social.
So this is really cool, especially I'm a big music guy, so this was pretty exciting. And we added the Spotify app to our profile, and what it does is while you're listening, so we work all day, it kind of streams through Facebook and tells people what you're listening to, and they can listen live with you by just scrolling over and clicking a listen button. They can also comment on what you're listening to, they can like what you're listening to, and they can share it, or you can share it, and you can also highlight it in your timeline. Like I listened to Sleepy Hollow soundtrack a few days ago, and I highlighted it, and it's one of the top posts on my timeline right now, and it just said, it's great fall music. If you're getting dreary from the gray weather or anything, it was perfect music to get you in the mood for fall. But it's really cool because you can interact. Like if I scroll into Rob's profile and he's listening to something I've never heard of, and I go, okay, what is that? I can get a quick fix and see what it is, and then put it into my own Spotify player and finish listening to the album on my own.
So this kind of incorporates the new ticker, which was introduced on your newsfeed. You probably noticed it. It's above your chat window on the right side of your Facebook homepage, and now there's a little ticker that updates every few seconds. And I know a lot of my friends have been asking about why all this music is showing up in their ticker now, and it's because people who have enabled the new Facebook are using Spotify and sharing music so that every time I listen to a song, like Mike says, on Spotify, it will show up in my friend's newsfeed ticker as Rob is listening to blank. And then if you have the new profile, you have the opportunity to play that song at the very same second that I'm listening to that song. And so, like I said before, it's way more social, it's Facebook integrated, and Spotify is just one example, but Netflix is going to be doing a similar thing, and Hulu is another big thing that we talked about in our video last week, is that you can now play Hulu videos right from Facebook. So you're not leaving to go to Hulu. And even if you are, it's Facebook connected anyways. So if you watch something on Hulu, it's going to show up in your newsfeed or on your timeline on Facebook if you have it connected.
Yeah, and it's not just media apps either. I know that one of our other team members, Jeremy, was experimenting with the Yahoo News one, and it will share to Facebook whenever he opens up an interesting article or whatever he finds on Yahoo News. Now, some people are a little bit worried about this sharing everything they do onto their computer, and really the easy answer is just don't add that app. These new Canvas apps, or what they're calling them, are set up to kind of do live streaming and set it up really so people never have to leave Facebook if they want to watch shows, if they want to see what you're listening to. It pretty much makes everybody an influencer to everybody else. And if you don't want to be an influencer, you don't really want people to know what shows you're into, what music you like, or what you're reading or anything, you just don't have to add the apps.
I mean, it's been really cool for me because a lot of my friends have actually enabled a profile already, and a lot of people that I used to work with and people that I'm working with now have enabled the profile, and so I'm learning a lot more about them, about their music tastes, especially because the Spotify app's been really popular because it's already ready to go, and so it's fun to be able to listen to what someone's listening to and comment on it and ask them where they heard about the music, and so it's making your experience on Facebook not so static, I guess. It's a lot more fluid. That's how I would describe the new Facebook changes. It's more social, it's more live. It's not just going onto someone else's profile and posting something and leaving. It's a lot more interactive than it used to be, and it's a lot more clean than it used to be when you think about design. So what do you think about the new design compared to the old one? Do you think it's a step in the right direction, or?
So from my perspective, you mean the new timeline look overall and everything. Like I said, people are going to be a little uncomfortable with it first because it's all these photos and all these things all at once, but it's actually really easy to control. It's very instinctual. So on the timeline, there's little gray marks for each thing, each story that's highlighted. If you don't like the story, you can click in the top right-hand corner and hide it from your timeline. If it's a picture you wanted to get rid of, you can remove the tag right there. You don't have to do a bunch of digging. If you want something else that's hidden to be on there, say like when I started my relationship with my fiance, like our engagement was on there, but maybe when we first started dating it wasn't on there, you can add a special event to a certain time. It goes all the way back to when you're born, and you can add different things in your life if you want to share that with the world or your friends and family that are on Facebook. It's very, very instinctual to control, and I haven't had any problems with it at all, and I'm usually the one that gets flustered pretty quick around here when it comes to the new stuff. So I think people will be really happy with it. Like I said, it's something that kind of makes sense. Just the name of it itself pretty much explains how it goes, and it's really easy to go back, and it's really fun to go back and look at things how things have changed in the last few years for you in your personal life and what's been going on with even friends or conversations that you've had, anything like that. I think the design's really visually appealing, a lot more than just the white, gray, and blue color scheme and a lot of text. A lot of the time is what I saw in profiles before, but...
And the other big part of the new timeline feature on Facebook is it's a lot more mobile friendly, and that was one thing that Mark Zuckerberg kind of hinted at but didn't spend a lot of time on when he made the announcement. It was that this change is going to be huge for mobile, whether you're on your iPhone or your iPad or your Android device. Facebook is going to be a lot different of an experience than you're used to on your mobile device, and Facebook understands how huge mobile is, and so they're really taking steps to ensure that they stay ahead of the game when it comes to social sharing on mobile. So a lot of people have been asking us, what does this mean for businesses who are on Facebook? Are their profiles going to change? And the general belief around the office is yes. We believe that your Facebook pages will change. Mashable released some designs that they had some people come up with of what they think pages will look like. They're not Facebook approved designs or anything like that, but it's basically understood around the tech community and the social media community that it's going to come to pages too, and it wouldn't really make sense not to. So we're going to be focusing on that as we hear more about it, and we're going to be learning about it for you, but we just want to let you know that it probably is coming. So you should definitely take some time to experiment with Timeline when it does come out, because it's going to come out for profiles before pages and you want to know how it works. So I would definitely recommend, if you don't have it yet, just learning more about it, and once you do get it, using it as much as you can if you are a business that's on Facebook, if you want to be ready for the switch, because it's coming.
It really does present a huge opportunity for brands and businesses or any public figures, because you can tell your entire story about your brand in the timeline, and that's what the essential purpose is for individual people to be able to tell their whole story. But being able to do that as a brand is extremely powerful, because you have videos from different landmarks in your time, you have photos from different big events, you have products, you can see how things have changed. You have contests that you've done. You have customers that have said great things about you that you can highlight. It really does just present a lot. It's a lot more fun, I think, and it makes interacting, if a timeline's like a profile, it'll make interacting a little bit more fun and probably increase, I would say, user engagement overall.
Right. So we're going to keep experimenting with the new Facebook changes. We're going to keep coming at you with what we learn and new announcements and just what we feel about the changes and what you need to know over the next few weeks and probably over the next few months too. But like I said, if you want to just see some screenshots, you can either just Google it and pick your favorite news source, or you can go to our YouTube channel and check out our video that we did last week. It includes some pretty cool screenshots of us, our profiles, and what they look like, and that's just youtube.com/onesocialmedia. And so we're looking forward to learning more about it and helping everybody learn about it. And we hope to see you again next week for our show, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Central Time.
If you have any questions or anything, shoot us a tweet at onesocialmedia or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/onesocialmedia. We're always open to take suggestions or requests. If you have anything you want us to cover, if you just want to pick our brains about something, we'd be more than willing to do that for a show or even a special video. So definitely reach out and connect with us anytime. Until then, hang on tight, and we'll see you next week with plenty more news.
See ya.